Going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and today we're going to take a look at the power consumption of that 8-inch inline fan. So some of you guys, when I did this, I tested it at 10, which is full blast, just to see the power consumption of it versus without the fans on the big ASIC when we did quiet this thing down to nothing. So now obviously we can't even hear this thing. It sounds like your furnace blowing. This is a wicked kit for the large ASICs here to turn them into literally quiet home miners. Now, a lot of you said that you only run these things at like maybe setting 5 or 6 depending on the temperature, winter, summer, and so on. So I'm going to go through the power consumption of this thing in all 10 modes, 1 all the way up to 10, and we're going to see how much power this thing draws in different modes, and then you can kind of adjust your power consumptions and stuff based on that. But we're going to have a look at the full range of power consumption of that fan. But first, I kind of want to go through the thermals of what this is all looking at. And if you guys remember back, I have this little thermal camera, if it focuses here. There you go. So this little ASIC thermal, it's a nice little, it's like 200 bucks or something, but it helps with a lot of things. So we're actually going to look at the thermals of this thing. So here we can see this is my intake. You know, it's red on the outside here because it's kind of where the warm room is that it's sucking in. The bottom is cool, but we're just going to kind of go through here. You can see the power cables are pretty warm, as well as the fan itself is getting warm. Let's get a little closer in here so we can see where it's kind of warm and everything. Now here's the ASIC itself. There it is. So there's the ASIC, and it is actually cold. And I'm just going to go to the side so you can see what we're actually looking at here. But there's the ASIC, the power cables, the PDU. You know, they're warm. The ASIC is blue and nice and chilly. And then we're getting to the exhaust side here. So here you can see that is the shroud on the exhaust there, the discharge, moving into the last silencer, and it is in the red zone. The last silencer is it has a decent insulation, so it's not too warm, but it is warm to touch. And then we're getting to the exhaust part. And here's that ducting, and it is red hot, moving all the way out and then out the window. But it does look like I am leaking a little bit there from the window. You can kind of see at the end, there's a little bit of spread there. So there is some air kind of coming back in. So this thermal camera is great for kind of picking up things like this. So, you know, I do need to make a little bit of adjustments to fully get the air going all the way outside without any leakage. But, you know, just by looking at it, you can tell it's probably going to be leaking a little bit somewhere. But it's not 100% optimized. But I just wanted to point out the thermals of what this thing is actually looking like right now. All right, so I do have this set on 120 volt and my meter box here with the meter on it. So right now it's just plugged in, not on. It looks like it's pulling about 0.6 watts. Now T-Swift, the plug who did hook me up with all this through Fruits and Associates and everything, oh, sorry for the focus there. I do want to point something out that he mentioned to me. So depending where you do order this inline fan, always use, this is normal practice with electrical, but always make sure you know what voltage they run on. So it sounds like in the USA, when you get them, they only run on 120 volt, or it could have been the batch, I don't know. Mine is 100 to 240 volt, and always check it. So I'm just going to kind of show you right now. I'm going to come up to the side here, but he did say his in the States was only 120 volts. So definitely always keep an eye on your electrical. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. So I'm going to kind of push the camera back here, but you should be able to see mine saying 120 to 240 or 100 to 240, something like that back there. But mine is good for 120 or 240 volts. So I did want to point that out. Don't just buy it, slap it on 240 or something, because it might not be compatible. Always check what your electrical stuff, all power supplies can run on before just plugging things in. So I just wanted to point that out right there. All right, so let's take a look at the power consumption. So I'm going to move this just to level 1. So this is fans number 1. Remember, it's not recommended to probably run this anywhere below 4 or 5 unless, you know, maybe you're in minus 60 climates or something crazy. It might work. You might not even need a fan or anything in general. Just throw that thing in a snowbank or something. It'll be good by itself. But you know what I'm saying there. But, you know, most people are running at 5 or 6. I was running it on 10. I'll play around with it sometime and check the temperatures. But looks like at level 1, we are a little over 3 watts. Let's just move this to level 2. It does take a couple seconds here just for it to finally get to where it needs to be. Slow ramp ups and so on. So now we're on level 2. Look like about 5.4 watts. Slowly climbing still. doing its thing. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. These low end modes seem to actually slowly creep up in power quite slowly, so that's crazy. We just crank it up, we're there in a couple seconds, and it's pretty steady. But looks like 6.1, so still creeping up. 6.1, 6.2. All right, 6.1, 6.2 on level 2. Let's move on to level 3 now. Let it do its thing. While we're letting these things kind of ramp up and stuff, I want to go through the silencing kits. Now, you don't need both of them. I'm assuming the biggest one that matters here is this first one, because it is coming right off the fan. So maybe I'll do some further testing in the future here, trying one here and remove that one, and then, you know, remove this one, put it over there, or just leave that one there, remove this one, vice versa, and so on. So you kind of get where I'm getting at. But I think this is the biggest deal. You don't need both to totally silence it down. Sure, it helps, but you know, you do have your ASIC and the shrouds here that will cause some silence from the fan that's way back here in the first place. So that one might not even be needed, but we don't know for sure until we actually test it out. But I think this is the major one right here, because the fan is situated about right here, which is right near the suction side or intake. Sorry for the focus again. But yeah, this is probably the biggest deal for silencing it down and so on. But anyway, where are we at on this power? So now we're hanging out on 3, and we're looking about 13.2 watts. Let's crank it up to 4. That's not much of a crank up, but let's wait for it to do its thing here. So now we're on 4, looking like about 21 or so. It's probably going to hit 22. I can slowly start to hear it a little bit now, not massive amount. I can actually just hear it kind of sucking through here, but that's about it there. What are we at? We're at 21.9. All right, let's crank it up another one. So 4. Now we're at 5. So we're about 50% power right now. This is where some people sound like they actually run this thing at. And we can see that I believe I was at 167 watts or something wide open. And right now we're only at like 32. So there's a huge difference between 50% and 100%. Now, as for the actual RPM and suction, I don't have any type of meter. Maybe I should get one of those for future type of videos on dictating how fast it's actually moving air. But right now we're 50% and only 32.9 watts. So let's just double count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, let's move it up to 6. And now we're going from 32. Oh yeah, now you can start to see the power ramp up. Once you get past 50%, we're seeing the power ramp up. And that's almost like any power supply. Once you get past its peak efficiency rating, then, you know, you're starting to use a lot more power and so on. So yeah, right here we just hit 50%, past 50%, and we're seeing our power really start to jump up when we hit the number 6. So now we're at about 47.4 at level 6. Let's move to level 7. It's ramping up some more. Oh yeah, look at it go. 65. Is it gonna go to 66? Oh yeah, there it goes. So we're gonna go about 59.9, 66 watts seems like a safe bet for level 7. Let's go level 8. Crank that one more. Boom. Level 8's turning up. There it goes. There it goes. So now we're rocking about 94 watts, 95 watts. Let it kind of situate here. Yeah, so 95.5 watts or so, just under on level 8. Let's move to level 9. All right. Oh, look at that go. Boom. Just takes off like a rocket. Power-wise, I mean, not the actual machine. So 125.8 at level 9. You can see how much power it starts drawing over that 50% mark. Now, is the fans actually turning at 50%? That's another thing we got to kind of consider. I don't know what the actual RPM is at each setting. You know, it might not be 100% power distribution between them all or something in RPMs, but now we're cranking it up all the way to 10, and we should be around 167 watts or so. So let's see where we situate here. Oh, it's going higher now. Oh, 167.7. So there, we're cranked up right now. It's at level 10. This is what I have been running it at. And yeah, we're around the 167.8, 0.7.8 mark. We could probably round this to 168, but oh, there's 0.8. I thought I saw a 0.9 for a second, but I have my little crosshairs on my camera on. I was blocking it on the video. You know, you would have seen it clearly, but I couldn't see it through my viewfinder. Anyway, we're about 167, about to hit 168 watts here. That is fully cranked up at 10, and we can see it's way over double the power of just 50% based on, you know, the settings of 5 to 10. Again, I don't know what the proper RPMs of each setting is. That would be something nice to really know, but I don't right now. Anyway, guys, hope this video helps you out in knowing the power of this 8-inch inline fan for quieting down your big ASIC miners and so on. So thank you for checking out this video, guys. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.